We got some goodies. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're working on this John Deere X320. In the last video we got it running and moving, confirmed that the transmission was going to work, and I went ahead and ordered some parts. So I felt a little bit more comfortable spending the money to get a new hood, a seat, and a mower deck, which I have not yet gotten the deck. After we confirmed that everything was going to work and run, and some parts came in. So let's see what we got and start throwing it on the machine. All right, first box. We got ourselves a nice, genuine John Deere seat. That's nice. Okay, put that there for now. And in this box, it's super windy out, so that might cause problems with the audio. What do we got here? Oh my. That's probably just a spacer for... This is not a genuine hood. This is an aftermarket hood off of eBay, and this is rather flimsy, so we're going to take this in the shed and put it together in there. All right, so the inner hood is in place, and that was kind of a challenge just to get that in. It fits, but it's not perfect. And we're doing this inside. It's super windy, so I don't want the wind to blow this hood around and break it. So there are 8 screws that hold everything together on the inside, and also the yellow badging that goes on the exterior. The first 2 just kind of get everything lined up, and then the other 6 will attach the interior to the exterior badging. I'll show you what I mean by when I say badging. I don't know what else to call it, but it kind of sandwiches the hood between the 2. So we've got to figure out, that should be it. Wait, no, other one, like that. And then after these 2 sides are on, we have to do the grill with the headlights. And then we can hopefully get this whole thing put on the machine with no problems. We'll go from there. All of the screws on the inside are the same, including the ones for the grill. So there's no need to worry about that. So almost got this one, and I will show you. There was a little damage during shipping, which I think I'm just going to try to get a partial refund. Not enough to warrant sending it back, I don't think, but still enough to be frustrating when you pay almost $400 for a hood. because I'm going to have to disclose that when I go to sell it. And eat that cost difference, you know. I can't say it's a mint condition hood anymore. All right, last one for this. For this part. This is the last one.
I love you, Daddy.
I love you too, Andy. All right, so those are on. And this is the spot. I'll try to get up close. Yeah, the side right here. See that? Hold on, let me see it. Right there. Right in this area here. I just cracked that whole little arm piece. Here you go, can you hold that? The only reason why I'm not returning it is because the inner hood will still hold these pieces together. So it should be fine. The grill has the pivot for the opening and closing the hood. So that should be okay. Now, gotta remember how exactly this goes in. Let's see here. Like so. Okay. Couple more screws on here.
Dad, I did not get enough sleep last night.
Oh, you didn't, huh?
I'm very tired.
Oh, maybe we should take a nap today. You're gonna nap in the shed while I'm working? That sounds nice. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely tell it's not a genuine hood. Things don't line up perfectly. I'm hoping that it's going to open and close on the machine. But we'll see. Hood pivots, which should go like so.
I love you, Daddy.
I love you.
Dad, I like doing videos with you.
Good. Can you see what I'm doing on the camera? Can you see what I'm doing on the camera?
Yeah.
Okay. Because we're making a video, so we want to make sure that everyone can see what we're doing. You know what I mean? Alright, we got one more bracket to do and then we can put the hood on the machine.
Daddy, make the funny noise.
Yeah.
said, be careful of your nails.
Okay. Yes, my daughter wanted to practice painting fingernails, so Dad was the palette for her practice, in case you were noticing the artwork. It was around $375 for this hood. And a new OEM hood was about $600. So I'm sure it would be better quality. Mindy?
I'm trying to get this.
I know, but you can't cover it up with your hand. There's about $600 for a new OEM hood. And this one I think cost $375 or so. And I'm sure the genuine one would have better quality. But to save $200, I figured it was worth a shot. Here's the finished hood. It looks pretty good. There's a couple spots that look kind of odd, but for the most part, I would say that it's okay. Let's go throw this on the machine, see how it turned out. All right, let's see if we can get this thing on without anything blown away. See if we're looking okay. Woohoo! That looks pretty good. I'll pick you up.
Why?
Look at that. That looks way better.
That's it.
All right, we just got to tighten it down. I can't remember what size. Maybe 1/2 inch. Okay. On the front, there's just, nope, 7/16. There's one bolt on either side. Nope. 10 millimeter. I'm really bad at guessing socket sizes if you can't tell. 10 millimeter. These pinch the pivot into place to hold it nice and secure. So we are still missing this front bumper piece. I've ordered that. It's on its way. It should be here in a couple days. There's one spot in the front. I don't know if you can tell, but the reveal on the hood, like there's a little flex, and this reveal is not consistent across the top. It's not like super noticeable unless you were looking for it, but I'm being kind of nitpicky because I spent a lot of money on this thing. After we get it all put together, I'm going to pop this grill off so we can clean it out, get that all taken care of. But let's do the seat. You stand right there. And okay, just keep it right there. Good news is that the seat is much easier to put in than the hood. It's just this little clip here, And then this slides out. This slides in. Like so. We put our clip back in. Got that?
Good thing I'm playing to a steering wheel.
Yeah, it is. All right, clip back in right here. And then our seat safety should just...
Whoa! 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 It's blowing off your hood.
Is it?
Yeah.
There we go. Seat is in. All right, so the front bumper came in. Got that put in. Looks pretty good. Doesn't line up quite perfectly, but that's mostly because of the aftermarket hood. But it looks pretty good. All right, so here's the deck that we picked up after 6 hours of driving. I actually got this for $100 less than the asking price. So I paid $400 for this deck, and it is in practically mint condition. Guys said that it was for a business, and that business contracted out the mowing, so they never used the deck really. They used the riding mower. I think it was like an X940 or something like that. They used it for clearing snow. So the deck just kind of sat, and it is in great shape. So I'm pretty happy with that. It's a 48 inch. It's just going to give us a little bit more value to resell than a 42. Yeah, it's got the 4 rotatable anti-scalp wheels, and I mean everything in here, all of the idler pulleys and spindles are tight. The blade looks hardly used on the backside, so blades I should say. So I got to get this thing over to the mower, and then we'll go about putting it on. All right, it looks a little bit better with the deck on. This is just your standard John Deere deck. It's got the attachment arms in the front, and then there are 2 draft links, one on either side in the rear. That being said, this is it took me a little while to figure out how to raise and lower the draft links. I'm used to having a, you know, like an arm for raising and lowering the deck, and this one has a foot pedal, which was a little bit different for me to get used to. So with the foot pedal in, you raise and lower. However, I'm 90% sure this is just operator error because I haven't messed with this kind before, but you're supposed to be able to lock it out at whatever height you want, and it's not locking. So I'm gonna have to look into that a little bit. Yeah, that locked there. Dude. I don't know. I'm just gonna have to mess with it. Okay, thanks, sweetheart. So yeah, when it's all the way up in the, you know, the highest setting, it'll lock up. But then if you lower it, it'll drop, which is fine for when you're cutting. But in between, if you have to raise it, then you should be able to lock it out in whatever setting you know, for a transport position or whatnot. You wouldn't want to change that every time. So that's where we are right now. Got that done, got the oil changed. Nothing crazy there. Got new filter in. Everything's all cleaned up. We're still missing a battery. We're gonna have to go get one of those probably tomorrow. And new fuel filter also. So plan is it's like 37 degrees today. I think we're gonna wait until a warmer day. We'll give this whole thing a bath, get it all waxed up, looking good. Get a new battery in it, and last but not least, the very last thing that I have to do after all that's done, the all-important new decals. Somewhere in there, I'm not sure exactly. I gotta look at some photos, see where that goes, and then we'll be totally done. You think it goes there? All right, well, we'll have to see. But we'll bring you back in a couple days when maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure what the forecast is. We did put some more air in these front tires, so hopefully they will hold. I did order tubes just in case, but I would much prefer to not have to put those in. So we'll go from there. Just wait for it to be a little bit warmer and we can clean and wax and finish it up. All right, it's a couple days later. I was waiting for the tubes to come in for these front tires. Someday I will make a video on how I do tubes, but especially with these front ones, it's really kind of a pain. And it's really, really windy today, so I'm not sure how much you guys are even gonna hear. But I'm just gonna grease these shafts so I can get the wheels on. I just have the mower jacked up right now. And then we gotta grease all the fittings. And then it's just on the outside, washer and a clip. Yeah, we had probably a good 3 or 4 days of rain, so everything is completely saturated. And today the sun came out, but it's all windy. So there's one side. This side might have to go a little bit higher. And my jack is looking a little precarious with this wet ground, so let's see if I can get it on the stand and reposition. And then I got a little story to tell you about what happened since the last time I was shooting. I suppose I may as well tell you now. So I was working on the Scott's mower, and I got that all finished up. So I moved that out of the yard, you know, where my shed is, just because I like to keep stuff close to the shed if possible, so I don't have to go as far. And so I did that, and then I went to move the John Deere in by the shed, and it wouldn't start. And the only thing I had changed was I put the battery in and took the jumper pack out. And so I was thinking, well, you know, maybe it's the fuel, because we knew that the fuel was old. So I drained all the fuel, and then I didn't have much time to work on it afterwards. Just I had to go back to work. But I happened to be looking at the specs for this machine on Tractor Data. I don't know why I was doing that, but and then it dawned on me as I was reading the specs. It said it needs a minimum of 195 cold cranking amps for the battery. And then I thought to myself, well, duh, this one has an electric PTO. And when you've got an electric PTO, it requires more battery power. And so that was the first thing I did when I got home from work was I checked the battery, and sure enough, this one, you know, like a lot of you guys, I'm sure, I tend to just go for the cheapest batteries I can get because it really doesn't matter. At least, you know, most of the time. For lawnmowers that I'm flipping, it doesn't matter if you get a $40 battery versus a $60 battery. But in this case, it does matter because the battery that I had on there was only 150 cold cranking amps. So long story short, I got to go get a new battery, which is really a bummer because the battery that I had put on the Scott's mower, that one is 230 cold cranking amps. So that one would work, and it would save me from having to get a battery. I would just swap these two. Only problem is that the terminal posts are reversed on these two machines. So there's not enough battery cable to reach to the other side, and I don't want to splice a new one in. So I'm just going to get a new battery, and this smaller battery I will save for the next project. So there we go. Now it probably doesn't look as good because we had that rain come through, but sure looks a lot better having a hood and a brand new seat. I'll probably give this thing a once over here before I take the listing photos just to clean it up a little bit. It's got some crud on it from the rain, but that's really all that I had left to do. Or actually, you know what? I gotta put the decals on. I gotta do decals and then swap the batteries and just test it, clean it up a little bit. Batteries in, got some fresh fuel, and the stickers sure look nice. So why is the hood over there, you ask? Well, there's one thing left that we gotta do. And I've been procrastinating on this because I didn't want to. Over the winter, the fuel seeped into the crankcase, so I got to confirm that the needle is not stuck in the carburetor. And I didn't want to take the whole thing apart because it's well, it's working. So I thought maybe I could get under here and just take the bowl off. And I think I thought it was a Phillips, but it might be a Torx bit, or it might just be stripped out. I'm not sure. Because if I want to take the whole carburetor off, then I got to take this whole cover off and then take the manifold off with it, which we might have to do that. Just a couple of linkages and it should pop up pretty easy. So let me get a couple sockets, and I guess we'll go that route. First part's pretty simple in theory. A couple of Torx bits to get this fan guard off. And then it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 bolts to take the shroud off. That. These are 10 millimeter, I think. And they shouldn't have to come out all the way. I think it'll just slip over them. Except for this one in the back, because it holds the dipstick tube. That one looks like it's got to come out. But these other ones, the shroud is grooved so it can slide. You just have to get them out far enough that it can slide over there. Okay, what else we got? Looks like there's one here in the valve. No, that's not it. There's another 10 millimeter in the valve cover. So maybe it's just the air cleaner that's keeping it on. Pop that off. Now we're moving. There we go. Okay. Now, let's see here. We should be able to just go and take well, we could do it a couple different ways. We could take the manifold off, or we could just separate the air cleaner and then pull the carb out from behind it. Holy cow, it's windy. That's a little bit better. It's just so windy outside. So carb's off. We did separate it at the manifold. The reason why I was trying to avoid taking the whole carburetor off and I just wanted to do the bowl is because I don't have a carb kit for this carb. And like I mentioned in the other video, I don't have a whole lot of success typically with not damaging gaskets. So I figured if I was going to dig into this one, I was going to need a carb kit, and I was really hoping to finish this today. So just trying to clean off some of the schmoo that's on the outside here. Try to prevent some of this dirt from contaminating the carburetor. Really, it's not dirty like most of the carbs I see. It's dirty for sure, but it's not like I don't know, it's like dry dirt. It's not like oily residue or anything. So it cleans up pretty well. In fact, I'm going to just fire up the air compressor and blast this off a little bit. Alright, that's a little bit better. See if we can get these screws to break loose. There we go. And as long as the needle looks good, I'm just going to put everything back. Because I don't want to destroy any gaskets. Yeah, this one's kind of stripping out. So let's go ahead. We'll try the impact screwdriver again. And it's kind of doesn't quite want to get on there. It doesn't come in quite straight because this taper wants to get in here. So maybe a big old flathead. You better. Let's see if I can. No, that's just stripping too. Yeah. All right. Let's try getting on it with some vice grips. These, I guess you'd call them needle nose vice grips. They're perfect for stuff like this, but they don't have the shear strength, I guess, because they just want to twist sideways. So it kind of slides right off. But then if you try a bigger pair, then you can't really get on there. Yeah. We're just mauling this screw up, so that's great. The other option that we could try, we'll take take a smaller Torx bit, and sometimes you can drive that into the cavity a little bit. Just to get a bite on there. Okay, now, whoops, that's not going to work. Well, let's just go for it, I guess. Normally I wouldn't want to use an impact, but there we go. Looks pretty clean in there. I must have to take the anti-backfire solenoid out. I'm not sure what's holding that. Nothing. Okay, so this is a new one for me. So the seat, it's all plastic. How about that? You see that? The float bowl and the seat and the emulsion tube are all more or less one unit. inside the bowl itself, there's a little crud, but I think we can just hose that out. So I'm going to take some carb spray. Looks pretty good. So I don't think there's anything wrong with the needle, which is good. Now, whether or not it's actually seating on here, that's a different story, I guess. But we should be able to test that when we put it all back together. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I don't see any reason to go further. Now there's like what do you call it? That's the word I'm looking for. An alignment marker, I guess, for lack of a better word. That's not the word I was thinking of, but so you should be able to just drop this in. A dowel pin, that's what I was looking for. Similar to a dowel pin, same principle. Oh, it doesn't feel right. It's got this O-ring on here, which is still pliable. Bowl gasket seems fine, although it's trying to pop out. Like that. Put these screws back in, put it back on the machine, and then we can throw some fuel in and test it out. Alright, hood's back on, carb's put back together, batteries in, put some fuel in. Probably gonna take a few tries to get this thing to crank over. And I'm in the same position I was before. Running out of hands. Sounds pretty good. Let's test the PTO. last thing we gotta test. We gotta make sure that the battery's charging. I think it turned out pretty nice. This is a really nice machine. And if I wasn't so sentimentally attached to the one that I currently have, then I'd probably keep it for myself. It's smooth. It's got a good turning radius. Super nice deck. I like it. So all in all, we spent about $1,100 on it, and I'm hoping to get at least $2,500. So a couple of glamour shots. I think the stickers turned out nice. I just got those from a guy on eBay. Nice vinyl decals. So if you guys have any questions or comments on this video or anything in particular, just let me know in the comment section below. And until next time, thanks for watching.